Wow. Wow. Okay. My bad. I don't know how that got muted. But all things considered, this is what I was saying. We have to take into consideration the fact that the Rockets have Reed Shepard on the court, I mean on the roster already as we speak. And with Reed Shepard already on the roster, yeah, yeah, yeah. We drafted. Shout out to you, KOD man. We drafted Bruce Thornton, um, the guy who's on the screen right now, who is, supposed to be like the top one of the top scorers or the top scorer in Ohio State history, according to what I was looking at. And I did just glance over it. I'm kind of familiar with Bruce Thornton, not really. He's a 6 foot bully ball point guard, um, 223, 230 pounds, you know, 6 foot Jalen Brunson type guard, and a score can score on all levels, supposedly. Average like 19 points a game, 5 rebounds, like 6 or 7 assists or something like that. But he's a 6 foot guard, and I'm sitting here with myself, and I'm saying, damn, you drafted a 6 foot point guard when you got Reed Shepard and Aaron Holiday on the team, who you already are reluctant to play because of their size, and then you draft another 6 foot point guard, not 6'1", not 6'2", he's 6 foot. So that probably means he's like 5'11", 5'10", maybe, right? Or if they would have said 6'1", 6'2", they would have said like 6'1" if he was 6 foot. If he was literally 6 foot, they probably would have gave him 6'1", you know. But they drafted a 6 foot point guard, and not that I think he's gonna be bad. He might turn out to be good. Is this the right guy? Oh, this is the center. Is this the center or is this the right guy? No, this is the center. This is the center. I got the wrong guy up. Let's get the right guy let's get the right guy on the screen. Push that up for you. Bang, bang. Let's okay. Now I think this is the right guy. If if it stays going. We drafted a sir who I'm gonna talk about it in a little while. But for the draft, I started. I actually, when I found out we had moved up to take a player, I actually started the stream before I got on, and I let them, you know, get the draft pick, and I was like, okay, let's just cut it on. And I heard who they got. Right, right. Well, that's true. We're gonna need another. Well, we drafted a center slash forward. They said he was a forward, but the bottom line said he was a center. But I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that. Let me drill home this point guard thing for a minute, because you're exactly right. No, you say we're gonna need another point guard going forward. Well, that's true too. But I mean, you could have you. It's no way you can't tell me you couldn't have found a ball handler that can play defense at a reasonable height. They just drafted, which they drafted for need. They wanted a guard who can score because we didn't have a guard that can create for himself and, put the ball in the basket, at an elite level. And we needed that, and it showed. And Fred is good at that now, but he hasn't always, been that way. And obviously they felt like they need that, and we do need that. But I'm like, was that actually the best guy out there? Exactly. Exactly. It's the exact that's my exact point. My exact point is Shep is 6'2", 6'3", can score. Shep is 6'2", 6'3", can score. And I'm saying, like, did we have to add another guy that does the exact same thing that Reed Shepard does?
Well,
You
yo,
know?
I
Go
got a
ahead, go
hot
ahead.
5 minutes. Salute to you, man. Salute to everybody
Take
listening.
off.
But listen. So I think Shep can create for himself. I think Shep can create for others. He can put the ball in the basket. I think we seen that last year. Was it inconsistent? Yeah, it was inconsistent, but he's shown that he can get to the rim. He can get to the mid range. He can shoot the three, of course. He can shoot off the dribble, off the bounce. So I don't think it was that necessarily, but having another point guard, especially like I say, moving forward, because this is gonna be Fred last year. Remember, Fred signed a short term deal, like a 2 year extension, something like that. So he's on a short term deal. This probably his last year. Uh, um, Holiday is a kind of, I don't want to say end of the bench, but he back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's not a long term answer. So if the idea, looking at the team, is that Shep is gonna be your starting point guard moving forward, unless you can trade for a superstar, something like that, and he has to be in the package. Otherwise, you looking at your roster, he's your point guard, your starting point guard moving forward. Having another point guard behind him who can score and create for others ain't a bad thing. And I don't think his side, because again, I'm looking at Fred. Fred is 6 foot. Nobody would say that
Hmm.
Fred is a bad defender though. If he's a
True.
bulldog point guard like you say, where he's smaller, but he got some strength and some size to him, like Kyle Lowry. Kyle
Hmm.
Lowry was a pit bull of a point guard. He was undersized. He was only 6 foot, but he wasn't a liability on defense. So if this guy is of that ilk, then I don't think that that's a bad thing. We gotta get somebody there, that they could depend on, who, like you say, can create his own shot, but also create for others. If he can score on all three levels, I'm not gonna act like I've done research on the guy. I'm just going off your scouting report. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dig into him, but I don't think it's a bad thing, bro. Now, can you tell me about the big man that they drafted?
Well, this is I wanted to save it, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you know what's up with the big man. You know how I was
All right.
pounding the table and I kept saying exactly what we needed was a big man that can actually protect above the rim and can be a lob threat. And I always said, I prefer somebody, you know what I mean, kind of more black than us, if you understand what I'm saying. A little somebody
Mm-hmm.
farther from the east than we are, cross the water, you know what I mean, as far as athleticism and whatever. Well, they went and got I can't pronounce his name right now. It's something Osanwu or something like that. But is a excellent shot blocker.
You kind of,
Only
you
six
kind of glitch,
eleven,
you kind of glitching, fam. You sound like you in the matrix a little bit.
has a pretty decent motor from what I can
Can
tell.
you hear me?
But
Yeah,
yeah, I can hear you.
you glitching. You sound like you in the matrix. You going in and out, bro.
Who I am?
Yeah, you
I'm
was.
going in and out. Okay,
Yeah, it
let me
sound
see
like
if I
you.
can
It
fix
sound
it.
like, yeah. I'm gonna go and drop out, man. I'm gonna be listening to you while you break down the big man.
Okay.
Salute to you, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Go and hit the like button for the homie. All right, bro.
Man, please do that. Hit that like button, man. Hit the like and hit the subscribe when you pull up. We're gonna keep it rolling a little while tonight. But so here, let me get the guy's name. Let me get the guy's name, and I'll pull up his stats. Um, Bruce Thornton. Okay, that's Bruce Thornton. Led Ohio State scoring 19. Okay, where's the other guy? Um, from Virginia. Nah, man, come on, brother. Um, hmm. So anyway, while I look for that, a decent Ogano on Ones Oni Onesiano Oni O on Yenso Ogano on Yenso. Okay, they got him right here. Um, and apparently the Rockets wire had him mocked to us in the second round. So shout out to the Rockets wire, and they got him 7 foot. Jesus, right, boy. If y'all don't get these ads out my face, what I'm trying to, they got him mocked to us 7 foot tall with a 7'5" wingspan. The draft had him um s- sized at pause. That draft had him sized at 6'11" with a 7'5" wingspan. So the 7'5" wingspan is legit. Maybe 6'11", maybe 7 foot. 21 years old. He still might grow an inch or two. Never no telling. Um, but he averaged 3 blocks playing less than 20 minutes a game. You know. Um, so he's a elite shot blocker. 9 block game against Duke. He had a 9 block game against Duke. He had a 7 block game in another big game. I forgot which game it was that they talked about during the draft. And he seems to be a good motor, high intensity, not a high intensity guy, but a high determination guy. A guy that wants to really be good. He was totally unsuspected that he was going to get drafted. Um, but like I said, Rockets Wire had him mocked to us anyway. I'm extremely thrilled about the pick at 245. You know, 7 foot. Nigeria. Does that sound like anybody that we know? you know, um, block percentage 17.4. Does this sound like anybody that we know? 7 foot, 245 pounds, 7'5" wingspan. Well, for those of y'all don't know, those measurements are very, very close to Akeem Olajuwon's measurements. Now, not saying that this is Olajuwon, but defensively, he can be somewhat of an Olajuwon type presence, you know, somewhat. I'm not saying, that, but I'm just saying somewhat of that kind of to that kind of frame, just that kind of body frame and measurements. And I'm a little hyped about that. I mean, obviously you're a second rounder for a reason, you know. At 21 years old, you're not one of the young bucks in the league, and um, you know, nobody raved about you, throughout any of the draft boards or anything like that. But I'll tell you what this particular article says. All right, boom. Um, the Rockets are projected to select one of the best interior defenders in the draft. Okay, so one of the best interior defenders. His measurements match those of current NBA centers. Okay, okay, boom, 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 boom. He averaged 10 more minutes per game. Oh, no, they were talking about another player. This includes a monster number. Okay, so they didn't really have too much to say about him. He may be the perfect development, blah 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 blah. They didn't really have a lot to say about him. Okay, I thought they were gonna say more about him personally, but all things considered, you know, let me go back to his highlights, and we can look at some of his highlights. And before I go back to his highlights, I do want to say this. You know, as we look at um, Bruce Thornton, and you see him make this pass to the interior off the slip screen, how he jumps and downs him up right there, gets the ball to his rolling big man, goes back to the snatch back to the baseline and creates separation. He has some good mechanics. I like the way he dribbled the ball. I do like his vision, his court vision is, I'm just not real thrilled about small guards. You know how I feel about small guards. I don't hate them. I'm just not a big fan of, you know, small guards, especially when they coming in the second round. But like you said, there have been some small guards that have panned out well. And we will need, if Fred is not there, we will need backup for Reed, or if we have to trade Reed, we'll need backup for Fred, or if we cut Aaron Holiday. But we still have JD Davison. And JD Davison played good basketball. He had good minutes for us last year, right? I mean, how many of us thought that JD Davison could have gotten more minutes? So, and JD Davison is not small. He's kind of a bigger guard. So that was just kind of my pushback on the guard thing, was the fact that JD Davison, Aaron Holiday, played decent minutes for us. I mean, a lot of us think JD Davison can be good if he gets significant minutes. I don't know. Obviously, they know something that we don't know about JD Davison, so I'm not gonna beat them up about it. Um, Something internally that make them feel like we needed another guard and that JD Davison didn't get minutes. You know, that it looked like he was playing good to us, but maybe they I mean, they're a lot smarter than we are. I mean, a lot smarter than y'all are. But this is what I want to say before I go back into talking about the big man, because I will say this. Well, let me say what I'm gonna say first. The Rockets have been, since the departure of Daryl Moore, the Rockets have been a subpar drafting team. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna put it out there, especially as it pertains to guards. If you look at the guards that we drafted, if you look at the guards that we drafted and the guards that we tried to play and the guards that we wanted you know, to try out and see if they was going to be good for our team, none of them shits are playing basketball. Like, no, like none of them shits are even getting minutes in the league nowhere. Like Kevin Porter Jr. get minutes every now and again. He was drafted by somebody else. And, he kind of good, but none of the other guys. Jalen Green, we drafted him. He was obviously the next most promising, supposedly. Whoa, what's that? He was he. Oh, whoa. Let me see. I heard that one that time. He was obviously the next most promising guard in that draft, and we wanted a guard. Again, I still would have took Evan Mobley, but that's my, you know, that's my preference. Um, but Josh Christopher, Tata Washington, um, you know, even if you think about Amin Thompson, they drafted Amin Thompson thinking that he can play point guard, and as we see, not really, right? They drafted Amin Thompson thinking that maybe he could play some guard. Not really. And not that he can't play some guard, but not as probably as good as they thought he could. So I don't I would have to say they haven't really been great at identifying guard play. Maybe the skill they can identify, but something about the intangibles they can't, right? Something about the intangibles or about the motor or about the IQ of a guard they haven't been able to identify yet. That's what I mean, even with Reed Shepard, he was a steal because of his shooting, but he wasn't the best guard in that draft. They didn't take the best guard in the draft. Um, they took what was supposed to be the best shooter in the draft, and he might not have been the best shooter in that draft. He still hasn't shown that he was the best shooter in the draft as of yet. So I just want to put that out there that maybe their ability to draft guards isn't as good as advertised. Again, now with that being said, um, this guy could be he could be that boy. You look how he positioned himself to get around that screen, you know, get down into the thing and just rises up over bigger defenders, you know, shooting from anywhere. Oh, touch that man. Oh my God. I wish I could rewind that for y'all right now. Did y'all see how he touched his screener? Did y'all see? And then he pros the baseline. This is a classic Steve Nash move that I always say point guards should be able to do when you get down by the baseline, not jump in the air and lose track of where you want to be. Just probe the baseline, able to put your body against the man, create separation between you and the baseline, and stay active on the baseline and keep your dribble alive using the man and the baseline as you know a alley to the other side of the court. That's great basketball for this guy. So I'm seeing things that's very promising about him. I would like to say that ultimately, um, it's not a horrible pick. Yes, I wish we could have got a bigger guard. you know, uh, I you know, I'll give y'all that one later. But as far as the bigs that we got, as far as the big that we got, Ogano. I'm gonna try to get his name right before I come back on. But Ogano, um, like I said, he could actually be if 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 if, if he gets playing time. If he gets playing time, which is going to be, which is the main about the point guard situation, is that Ime didn't play Reed Shepard much at all. He doesn't really like to play certain guys if it's a defensive liability, and if Raphael Stone and the crew really feel strongly about this guy, about the guys that he's drafting, and you know he doesn't get playing time. It's drafts like this that could be to Ime's detriment and could ultimately be Ime's exit strategy. Not exit strategy, but reason for dismissal in the long run. It could be simple stuff like this. Like if this is a player that Raphael Stones feel like, hey man, look, you know, I'm getting good guys. I believe in the guys I'm getting. Because the one thing you can't do, something I learned in the workforce, if I hire somebody and you come back to me a bunch of times telling me that this a trash worker, oh, he's a trash worker, he's trash, he's trash, he's trash. I'm gonna eventually start looking at you funny. I'm gonna really have problems with you because I really feel like you're telling me that I can't do my job at hiring people. We might have problems. Me and you might have problems if continuously hire people and you continuously tell me that I'm doing a bad job at my job hiring people. Because You're not just insulting them, you're insulting me as well. And so remember I told y'all last year when Ime said reship is gonna be have to be very good for us, period. And I told y'all, I said that was him giving an order to Ime. I mean, Raphael Stone said that. That was him giving the order to Ime. Like, you know, at some point, bro, you're gonna have to play the guys that I give you because you're putting my job in jeopardy as well as your job. Your head gonna roll before mine. Your head's gonna roll before mine. And I think E-Man has to realize that. And if if this guy has any kind of potential that Raphael Stone has identified, and I'm pretty sure him and E-Man talked about it together, and he don't play these guys, it's gonna start to look like Raphael Stone can't draft, and Raphael Stone might have some problems with that. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for it. Um, all right, now let me get to this. Let me get to back to my let me get back to the big man footage right here. All right. Okay. Boom. So I think it's important to say this, that this particular player might have just saved Alperen Sengun's career as a Houston Rocket. He might have just this draft might have just saved Alperen Sengun's career as a Houston Rocket. On the insole. On the insole. Ugono on the insole. Because if he's an actual rim protector and he's better than Clint Capella and he learns from Steven Adams, he's exactly what Alperen Sengun needs to be paired next to. He is exactly what Alperen Sengun needs to be paired with. Have I not said this all season long? Alperen Sengun needs an actual big. He needs an actual center, an actual shot blocking, rim running, athletic, little bit faster, because let me tell you the funny thing. As much as KOD talks shit about Alperen Sengun, you've never heard him say that he was the slowest center on our team. You never heard him say that he was the slowest person on our team. And that's some, somewhat of a problem to think that Alperen Sengun might be faster than Steven Adams, Clint Capella, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr. He might be the fastest big on our team, which might be a problem. Could be a problem when the guy that everybody says is so trash is probably faster than every damn body else. Oh my days. It's hey, listen. This might, I'm telling you. Let me tell you for a fact. Let me tell you for a fact. KLD says nope, get his ass out of here. Adding a bid can't save that bum. Hey, I posted your rant from earlier, man. I had to edit some stuff. I had to edit a little bit. But I posted a short of it early. I don't know how it's gonna do. But I was rolling. I was rolling. But nah, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And usually I'll concede, bro. I'll concede as like, I'm not gonna really go back and forth with you about it. I get your point. It's on my YouTube. It's on my YouTube. I don't know how it's doing. I haven't checked it because I was working so fast. I was working so fast, but yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I posted it earlier. I'm gonna check it here in a little while. But I can't. I'm gonna tell you flat out, bro. I'm gonna tell you this flat out, and we can be at odds about this all season long. We can debate this all season long. If this center pans out, he's gonna be the perfect fit for Alpha Shango. He's gonna be the perfect fit for Alpha Shango. Do you see his athleticism? You see how athletic he is? His ability to get up the floor, post up. Look at his post up. Look at his post up game. Fade away. Yappa. You see that? Watch this. Look at him. Look at him turn it, seal like Clint Capella used to. Catch the ball right there and then bang right there. I don't know why my shit keep freezing, but this could actually be the thing that saves Al Pacino's career as a Houston Rocket. And it'll make Alp better. It'll give him a lob threat. It'll be another experiment that Ime could use. It could save Ime's career because defensively, one of the things that Ime actually needs that Time Lord type big. That big that can really patrol from the interior to the corner three and get back to the interior and has that shot blocking intensity, just the knack for shot blocking. Because shot blocking is a lot about effort, but it's also a lot about just timing and just being used to doing it. You know, um, like you think about it. Look, I mean, you think about the anticipation it takes to know. Okay, this dude might be finna pass me the ball. I'm finna get ready to dunk it. This dude finna pass me. This dude finna shoot the ball. I'm finna go block it. It's an anticipation aspect to playing center that you just have to have as a big. And to be honest, Alpha Shengun has the desire to do it, but he doesn't have the natural ability to do it. And um again, Onesio does have that natural ability. Onesio does have that natural ability. And it could pan out. If he pans out, it'll be the thing that look, did the Rockets find a second round steal? Did they find a second round steal? The hell? Let me see. Um, let's see. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for your clip too at the same time. But if you subscribe, it should pop up on your feed. Negro, shoot. Have me looking for something. It should pop up on your feed sooner or later. You know how we do it. But again, like I said before, Al Horford and Time Lord. That's Ime's style. Al Horford and Time Lord. I mean, it's not your traditional front court, but Ime makes it look formidable. A solid defender and an elite shot blocker with a good motor. Ime makes that into an all world defense. Albert Shangun is a willing defender. This guy's an elite shot blocker. I expect now out of everything that I've said about what the Rockets need to do. Y'all have heard me say over and over and over again that Alperen Sengun is more Paul Gasol. He needs an Andrew Bynum. Alperen Sengun is more like Al Horford. He needs a time. Ime needs a time lord. That even more than we needed a point guard, we needed a shot blocker that DeAndre Ayton couldn't make. That wasn't gonna make DeAndre Ayton look like the second coming of Willis Reed and shit, right? So so this draft, this second round draft, whilst it started out to me like when I saw a 6 foot point guard, I was so frustrated. I was finna come on here like Mad Dog Russo. I was finna come on here like strike me down. I, I was gonna come on here like Mad Dog Russo and just lose my mind. But after the second pick, I started to like, okay, they 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 weren't just drafting guards just because they needed a guard and they were just gonna draft a lot of guards. They actually went on they actually drafted two things that they needed. One of which is scoring from the guard position, and the other one, actual rim protection and um, vertical spacing, vertical spacing, and some post scoring. A guard that can score that can shoot the ball and can get inside and still, score over guys. That has a knack from hitting mid range jumpers and things like that. So I'm not at all as mad and frustrated as I thought I was gonna be. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. So we'll see. We'll see. And I am going to do. Well, I mean, I'm here. Why not do it now? Why not do it now? Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna see if I can find a little more insight about exactly. Okay. Ready? Rob. Okay. Just a little more insight about the players, if I can. Let me try to get a better bead on some of this shit. Okay, bang bang. So that's what we have for his 19 and 9 this year. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought he had more assists, but 55% field goal shooting and 40% 3 point shooting. I mean, nothing to sneeze at. It's not bad, right? That's pretty good. I think 1.2 steals could be a little better, but it does show that you know he got some knack for being around the ball. So that's not horrible either. Um, let's see, let's see. Go back here, and I'm I'm a little bit more excited. And the funny thing is that we get excited about these players, and we know they're not gonna really make a difference, right? We know they're not gonna really get PT. Hold on. Hold on. Time out. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Detroit Pistons continued their busy draft night, acquiring the rights to Agano Oneshio from the New York Knicks for cash considerations. Hell to the no now. I thought he was going to the Rockets. Let me see what's going on here. I thought he was going to the Rockets. Bro, if this nigga going to if this nigga going to Detroit, I'm spazzing. I'm spazzing. Let me see something. I'm finna spaz. I'm telling you right now, I'm finna spaz if he not coming to Houston. No, no, no. Don't do none of that. Don't do none of that. Don't do none of that. Bro, this dude going to this dude is going to Detroit instead of Houston. Houston selects and sent him to Detroit. Bro, bro. So hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Why do we send him to Detroit? For what? For what? For what? I mean, why did we send him to Detroit? Selected by the Rockets, Draft right was traded twice. First, moving on from Isaiah Stewart. Why did we send him to Detroit though? For what, bro? Let me say something. Y'all finna hey look. Y'all finna hear your first real crash out. Num yum yo hore cake. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the hell is bothering me? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the hell is bothering me? All right. Nam yam yo ho yo. Relax, relate, release. Relax, relate, release. Okay. Now, let me see if I can figure out for what reason did the Rockets give Detroit selected the 23rd overall pick, second round, then traded to New York, who traded him to Detroit. So did we get anything out of this deal? Did we get anything out of the deal? Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. I know we had to get something. I know we had to get something because we didn't just. Hold on. Okay. Okay. We got Bruce Thornton. I see that. I know that Bruce Thornton. Cool. That's cool. That's cool. Bruce Thornton. Bruce Thornton. Okay. Bruce Thornton. Man, let me tell y'all something. You know, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If they didn't get nothing, hey, no, don't pack your bag, Alfie. Pack your bag, Stone. Pack your bag, me. I'm about to. Hey, bro, y'all ain't never, y'all ain't never seen somebody so ready to switch teams, bro. Y'all ain't never seen nobody so ready to switch teams. I'm about to switch teams, bro. In my old age, in my old age, you gonna come back on this shit. This shit gonna say, oh, OKC alert like a motherfucker. This shit gonna say OKC alert like a motherfucker when you come back, bro. I'm telling you right now. Stone don't get his dumb ass up out of the bro. If Stone don't get his, I answer all the questions with a rhetorical question looking ass up out the damn office. If he don't get his Bryce Thornton, I mean, you know what? Because they moved up. So they traded their other pick to move up to draft Bruce Thornton. So that's probably what happened. So what they must have done, they must have traded their other pick to move up to draft Bruce Thornton, which means instead of drafting twice, they moved up to get Bruce Thornton and didn't get a shot blocker. Man, these niggas never cease to amazement, bro. These niggas never cease to amaze me. If I don't go fix me a drink right now, man, I'm liable to say something. I'm liable to abandon ship, man. I'm liable to abandon ship. Two bigs. Two bigs. Like in my mind, I guess the thing for me is I understand the importance of having everything that you're supposed to have on a basketball team. And we just don't have it, bro. Like, we have an Aaron Holiday on the team. We have a JD Davidson on the team. Just like you said, we have a Reed Shepard on the team. They might not be, we might have struggled at times this year with point guard play. But you know what else we struggled at time with? Getting dunked on by DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes in the playoffs. All that other shit that people complain about pales in comparison to DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes punking us in the playoffs. Because the playoffs is where we wanted to get. We could have got to the playoffs. We got to the playoffs easy. We got to the playoffs easy. But once we got in the playoff, the shit that got us out of the playoffs, we didn't correct that. We didn't correct that. Because ultimately, we figured out how to get the ball to people. But we didn't figure out how to stop no damn body. We didn't figure out how to stop nobody. Yeah, we had some games where we missed some shots. But ultimately, what beat us was that every time they wanted to go to a lob play, they put Alfred Shangoon in a scramble. Alfred Shangoon was trying to help other people, and then they just come right back, and he don't got the foot speed to play center from one spot to the next and get all the way back and be able to get all the way back and jump high enough. Because what Alfred Shangoon has to be able to do he's not physically capable of doing. He's not capable of stepping over, being in the spot to cut off the lane and get back to the rim and jump high enough to contest above the rim. You have to be an elite athlete at the center position to do that. And Alperen Şengün is not. Steven Adams is not. Clint Capella is not. We just simply don't have it. I don't understand. Let me tell you what we have. Aaron Holiday can do whatever this dude can do. JD Davidson can do that shit. I don't care what nobody say. He might is going to be good. And you talk about, oh, he a bully, he can shoot. What's the other dude that we got that's in the damn G League that come in and always think he Michael Jordan and shit and be shooting the hell out the ball? He the same player. He the same player. We got a little short dude in the G League that think he can shoot whenever he want to. That'll probably go to another team and do good. Bro, but guess what? Guess what this means for you, KOD? This means they don't have no intention on trading or getting rid of Alperen Şengün, because if they did, they would have drafted a replacement. They would have drafted a big. They'd have drafted some kind of center depth. So as far as Alperen Şengün going anywhere, as much as him being there could have been support for Alperen Şengün, him being there also could have meant he could supplant or surpass Alperen Şengün and become an actual deterrent at the rim, you know, line threat and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So he could have been the reason that they feel like, okay, just like they did with Bruno Fernando. They could have been like, hey, we got Bruno Fernando. He played kind of the way we want to play. We put Alperen Şengün on the bench. He could have been the same kind of player. They could have been like, oh shoot, 7 foot crazy shot blocker. Let's get it. Let's get it. And that could have been the reason Alperen Şengün became more available to trade. But without a replacement for Alperen Şengün, we right back to square one. Steven Adams and Clint Capella gonna be your centers. Your ass getting busted because one of them niggas, both of them, Clint gonna barely play. Steven Adams gonna be hurt. Your ass getting busted. They better have a plan to get a center. And with what what looks like good centers coming into the league more and more and more and more and more, Alperen Şengün's value as a center is going down and down and down and down and down. And sooner or later, guess what, KOD? I'm gonna be right with you. I'm gonna be like, just trade him. Just trade him. If you're not gonna put him at power forward, you're gonna hang him out on the island every year as a center. Just trade him. I don't even want to see him. I don't even want to see him no more. I don't even want to see him. You gonna play Alperen Şengün and Steven Adams next year? Cool is cool and all. But oh man, y'all remember what the hell just do y'all remember? I can have it both ways. I absolutely can. Do y'all remember how mad Rockets fans was when we was playing the double big lineup at the beginning of the year? Oh, it was sickening. It was sickening to listen to all the moaning and groaning about, oh, Steven Adams, no spacing. It just muddy up the game. It looks so horrible. The offense, defense look like trash. Steven Adams, there's no spacing. He can't play defense, and Albert Şengün can't play on the perimeter, and Steven Adams ain't no spacing. It's too much going on in the paint. We need spacing. And now Steven Adams get hurt. We get a little more spacing. We get a little bit of spacing. But mind you, I kept saying Steven Adams causes spacing because you have to he attracts two or three bodies because of rebounding. Either you're gonna just concede the rebound to him, or you're gonna have to put two or three bodies on him, and that creates spacing because you have to be attached to him. So Steven Adams does have a value, and Alperen Sengun played good defense on the perimeter in the playoffs. So I don't understand the whole Alperen Sengun can't play perimeter defense shit. He can't play against when you switch him onto a guard like Jalen Brunson or somebody like that. But if he switched onto a small forward or a power forward, why not? Why could he not be able to do that? He played well against LeBron James. He played decent against LeBron James in the playoff when he was switched on to him. It was other players who names will go unmentioned that was getting cooked by LeBron. It was other unmentionable players that was getting cooked by LeBron. And it really wasn't even LeBron that was cooking us the most. It was other people that LeBron was getting open. But Alperen Sengun played decent defense on the perimeter. That's not the point. The point is that when you look at it and you say, "Oh my goodness, let me go back to the one guy that we got. Let me see, was this right here? Let's close that on down. Let's put that right back up there. And man, let's go back. Let's go back to Perny kind. Um, okay. So let me see if I can move this out the way a little bit so we can just watch unlimited small ball guards since that's what we believe in over here. We believe in small ball, baby. We playing small ball, year round small ball. All the small ball you can imagine. All the small ball you want for the rest of your life. Hey, you wanna if y'all wanna know y'all wanna know what we did this y'all wanna know what we just did? We just said the Rockets just said, fuck all y'all time. Fuck y'all time, bro. Fuck y'all time. Fuck y'all time, bro. We finna run it back with the same team we had. We ain't doing nothing. 82 games, 365, 365 days from now, 365 days from today. Guess what? We'll be right back here again doing the same shit. They don't have no desire to do anything. They're not trying to make no moves. They're not trying to do nothing. All they want to do is play these old niggas on the team, keep on playing old niggas, and keep on playing old niggas every day. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They want to keep playing the oldest niggas they can find. What the heck? I don't understand what's going on with that. Okay, let's see. They want to keep playing the oldest niggas they can find, and they have committed themselves. KD is the alpha, bro. My nigga, my nigga. Hey, you know what? Guess what? Guess what? I don't even care. I don't even care. You know what? Yeah, hey, let's trade. Let's trade Alper Shangon. Hey, you know who would be perfectly? You know who would be great? Let's trade Alper Shangon for AD. AD, KD. I mean, Joel Embiid is supposed to be going to Dallas. Let's get Joel Embiid. Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid. Oh man, that's fire. That's a fire combination. How about that? How about Alper Shangon for Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid? Would you do that? Y'all want to do that too? Then I tell you what else we can do. You know, Jabari Smith is good, but you know who will really, really, really be good? I mean, as a floor spacer, um, Duncan Robinson. We should trade Jabari Smith Jr. for Duncan Robinson. We should get AD and Duncan Robinson. Oh, no, 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 no. I got a better one than that. This is the perfect scenario. No, 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 not Nick Martelli. I don't even know who that is, but this is perfect. Larry Markkinen. We should trade Jabari Smith Jr. and Reed Shepard for Larry Markkinen. And then you can have Fred Van Vliet, Kevin Durant. Oh, hold on. We got to do one more thing. We're going to trade Armin Thompson too. We're going to trade Armin because Kyrie. We're going to get Kyrie. Oh, okay. Yeah, so what? We're gonna get Kyrie. We're gonna get Nick Martinelli. It sounds like another 6 foot guard. I don't even I don't even care. Um, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna trade Armin for Kyrie. Right, right. This is perfect. Oh no, Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon. Oh, Drew Holiday. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Drew Holiday. Everybody loves Drew Holiday. Or Derek White. Everybody loves Derek White. Everybody loves Derek White. Why don't we trade Armin for Drew Holiday or Derek White? Let's say Derek White. Yeah. Why not? Why not Derek White? Trade Armin for Derek White because Armin can't shoot. Derek White can shoot. Right? You want a shooter that can play defense? Trade Armin for Derek White. Now we got Fred Van Vliet, Derek White, Kevin Durant, Larry Markkinen, and Anthony Davis. Perfect team. Perfect team, right? A great team. That's an all-time great team. How that sound? Y'all want to do that? Might as well. I mean, Derek White might be too tall. Right. Never mind. Ain't no exactly. They ain't, don't even worry about Nick Martinelli. Traded him. Exactly. Traded him. Gave him away for nothing. Gave him away for nothing. Don't even worry about it. They ain't doing nothing, bro. Rockets ain't doing. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm telling you what we need to do. We need to trade all these niggas and just go ahead and just trade all these niggas for a bunch of bullshit and start over again. Go ahead and build this magical, mythical team that y'all think Fred VanVleet and Kevin Durant is gonna win a championship together. Right? For all these people who think Kevin Durant and Fred VanVleet is gonna win a championship together. Tell me, tell me when a team with that kind of combination of players have won a championship. Name the team that has won with that kind of combination of players. A 32-year-old point guard and a 38-year-old number one scorer. Um, a bunch of niggas under 7 foot. All your guards are under 6'3". I mean, God, nah, I mean, Manu Ginobili was 6'6", 6'7", bro. How tall was Manu? How tall? Because even if you say, but they had Tim Duncan, and then they still had even with Tony Parker being older and Tim and I mean, and Kawhi came in and Kawhi, he was Kawhi. But you cannot tell me the team that won a championship with a 32-year-old point guard, uh, uh, the best player on your team being 30, 39, 40 years old, and a bunch of other shit. So we're not winning no championship, bro. Just forget about the championship stuff. We are back in building mode. We are officially back in rebuild mode as of right now. As of right now, we back in rebuild mode. Unless something, hey, y'all want Jalen Brown? Guess what? Trade Reed Shepard, Alperen Sengun, no, trade Amin Thompson and Alperen Sengun for Jalen Brown. That'll get you Jalen Brown. Um, Reed Shepard and Amin Thompson. Not enough. You got to have more money on the table. Fred VanVleet and Amin Thompson for Jalen Brown. That'll probably get you Jalen Brown and all your future picks, and you can still keep Alfie. So you'll have your All Star Kevin Durant. You know, you'll have Reed Shepard. That's your best bet. That's your best bet. Trade Fred VanVleet and Amin Thompson for Jalen Brown, and then give up all your picks. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna end up doing, buddy. They finna do that. They finna do that. They're gonna trade Amin Thompson and Fred VanVleet for Jalen Brown. But you know what? That's too smart of a thing to do. That's too much. Like it makes too much sense for them to actually do it. But they would probably trade Amin Thompson and Fred VanVleet for Jalen Brown. Then they'll have Jalen Brown, Kevin Durant, Albert Shangon, Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepard. That's a decent team. That's a decent team. But instead, you know what they want to do? They want to trade Albert Shangon and Jabari Smith for Jalen Brown and give up the power forward and the center. And then they're gonna come out here with with Steven Adams, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brown. Man, Armin ain't no damn untouchable, bro. Armin ain't no damn untouchable. Man. Ain't nobody untouchable. Ain't nobody on this team. You might as well trade that nigga, man. Yeah, I ain't no untouchable. Only untouchable I know is Danny DeVito. Then what's his name? Joe Pesci. Then what? Them niggas untouchables, man. The only untouchable I know. There ain't no damn untouchable on this team. They said Armin is the only person who is near untouchable. He's the only person that's near untouchable. But I guarantee you, if they would do Fred VanVleet and Armin Thompson for Jalen Brown, Armin ass would be gone. Armin ass is gone. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because you know why? Because they are incapable of building a good team. So you might as well start stripping down all your youth, bro. That's close to it. Exactly. But it's close to being untouchable. Don't mean nothing because you're incapable of building a good team, bro. You don't have you're a hell of a money manager. You're a hell of a money manager. I give you that. You're a great contract lawyer. You're a great contract lawyer. I give you that. But but horrible drafter. A horrible, horrible drafter. No, I don't. I'm just trade. No, I just said trade LP. Trade LP. Trade Amin. Trade Jabari. Trade all of them. I want to trade everybody, bro. I just want to go ahead, trade everybody. Get get the best players that you can get. Get the best players you can get. Go ahead and try to win your little one stinking ass championship. Everybody Achilles be broke. everybody broke ass Achilles. God dog me. Achilles will be out by 2 years, and we can start over with a bunch of old niggas that's sitting on the bench with bad Achilles, and we can start over and start again. A bunch of niggas with bad knees and bad Achilles. Do that. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to go ahead. I want to go ahead and hey, look. As long as we listen, we are not gonna win no championship, bro, with Fred VanVleet and Kevin around on our team. Not if they're your starters, bro. Is nobody unless Anthony Edwards come to this team, unless Anthony Edwards comes to the team or Dylan Harper comes to this, I even Anthony Edwards, even Anthony Edwards, he drafted some good talent. He ain't drafting no good team, bro. And the people that Stone drafted, he had to draft that person. But if you think about it, Reed Shepard wasn't the best guard in the draft. He wasn't the best draft pick. We drafted him because we wanted the best shooter in the draft, and he's not even the best shooter in the draft. Guess what? It don't matter how good of a shooter he is if you got stupid ass coach won't play him. It don't matter how good of a shooter he is if your coach won't play him. Take 3 years for him to get on the court to play, and you still trying to keep Fred VanVleet and bring Reed Shepard off the bench. Yeah, no, it don't. Listen, I don't care about I don't listen. I don't care about Albert Shangon. I don't care about no Alperen Sengun. Trade. I don't care about Alperen Sengun, bro. I ain't said nothing about Alperen Sengun. Get his ass off the team. Man, Reed Shepard was not the best. He was he was the best wish. He was the best wish. We needed shooting. We needed. He was who I wanted. I wanted Reed Shepard, but I also would have took any one of them niggas that's 7'2", 7'3". I would have took any one of them tall niggas that's big as hell that you can't teach, you can't find. And I still think Reed Shepard can be a Hall of Fame point guard, but he won't be a Hall of Fame point guard in Houston. Not with this general manager and coach. Not with this general manager and coach. Let me tell you something. Reed Shepard could be a Hall of Fame point guard, but I don't see it happening with this general manager and coach. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm just telling you what I think. What I just come to realize, what I just come to realize is this. Tell me, did this resonate with you? If Alper Sengun sucks so bad, why the hell is he still on the team? If Alper Sengun sucks so bad, why the hell is he still on the team? I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but you can't answer that question without coming to the realization that I'm trying to get you to realize this team is trash. As of right now, this team is trash. As Bubba Dub would say, trash. We are, we have officially disposed of the future of this Houston Rockets team until we get these incompetent. I got a good package for him. Get his ass off the team. And we don't need no good package for him. He trash. He's soft. He's sorry. He weak. He's one of the worst players and overrated players in the league. Get his ass off the team. I told you who you could trade for him. You could trade Alper Sengun and Jabbar Smith Jr. for Jalen Brown. Get their ass off the team. Cause guess what? Guess what? Uh Jabbar Smith Jr. Ago got dog me 3 weeks without hitting a damn shot. Anytime in the middle of the season, Jabbar Smith Jr. might just never make a jumper, right? Right. No, it's teams that want LP. It's teams that would love to have LP. It's teams that'll take LP and he'll continue to be an all-star. He'll continue to be an all-star. Matter of fact, guess what? Guess what? I got a trade for you right now. Larry Markkinen for Alper Sengun. Larry Markkinen for Alper Sengun. What you think about that? There you go. You trade. Here go another one. Here go another one. Um, here you go. Miles Turner. Y'all like Miles Turner a lot. Why don't we trade LP for Miles Turner? Yeah, straight up. And they give us two or three second round draft picks. They give us 2 or 3 second round draft picks and Miles Turner for LP. Right? And then we can have Miles Turner. Right, good deal. I'll take it. I'll take it. Miles Turner. Boom. Al Pacino. Done deal. Okay. Now we need to get rid of Armin. We need to trade Armin and we need to trade Armin and Fred VanVleet for Jalen Brown. We need to trade Armin and Fred VanVleet for Jalen Brown. We give them Armin, Fred VanVleet, 2 first rounders, 3 second rounders for Jalen Brown. You'll do that? You wouldn't trade Armin for Jalen Brown? You said that's a championship team. Now you said Jalen Brown and KD is a championship team. No, 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 no. Turner ain't too old. Cause LP trash. Now we keeping Turner. We moved on from that. Turner is a done deal. Turner is a done deal. We already made the trade. Now we shook hands on that. If you say anything, no, I already got the contract. It's already going. That's a done deal. No, we no 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 no. No. We're gonna do marketing later. We're gonna do marketing in a minute because we're gonna do Jabari and Reed. No, we're gonna do Jabari. Yeah, we're gonna do Jabari. So you're not moving Armin for Jalen Brown. You're not moving Armin Thompson for a top 3 MVP candidate. Why not? Why not? Why you not moving Armin? Why you don't want to move Armin? What is it that makes you want to keep Armin? Hey, your YouTube short just hit my feed. Your YouTube short just hit my. I'm following your messages. I'm following your message. They might be late. Your YouTube short just hit my feed. Um, Armin ain't no damn elite talent, bro. I mean, he is elite talent, but he not better than Jalen Brown right now today. Armin is not better than Jalen Brown. Armin is not going to be better than Jalen Brown for the next 3-4 years. Right now today, for the next, I'm gonna say the next 3 years, Jalen Brown is gonna be better than Armin. He hasn't hit his prime yet. Exactly. It fucking exactly. That's my fucking point, bro. But you swear up and down everybody else hit their prime and that they stagnant. Listen, trade, trade Alpha Shangoon for Miles Turner. We get Miles Turner. We get uh because Alpha Shangoon an All Star. We should get maybe a first round pick and a second round pick, right? So we trade we trade Alpha Shangoon for Miles Turner. We get a first round and second round pick. That's our center. Then we turn around. Then we trade Armin Thompson and Fred Van Vliet to make the money match up. Boom. We flip them. We get Jalen Brown. Right? Now we take Jabari. We take Jabari and Reed Shepard. And we're gonna trade Jabari and Reed Shepard for Larry Markkinen. Now we got no, we still got to make one more move. We still got to we still got to get another point guard. We still don't got a point guard. Ooh. Oh no. I'm gonna tell you what it was. I'm gonna tell you what it was. Okay, boom. So Albert Shangoon for Miles Turner. Boom. That's a good trade. Because Albert Shangoon, the most overrated player in the world, he trash. So Miles Turner, stretch, floor spacing, everything niggas be talking about we need. Shot blocking, floor spacing, everything. Nigga got nice pants and shit he be wearing, all kind of shit. Okay, Miles Turner. Okay, bang. Then we're gonna get Jalen Brown. Because everybody want Jalen Brown and KD on the same team to get. No, we're gonna get Jalen Brown. Believe that. Believe that. And there's no other way to get Jalen Brown than without Armin Thompson. We already traded LP because he trash. And nobody wants Alfred Shangoon. Nobody wants Alfred Shangoon. No. Nobody wants Alfred Shangoon. Nobody's lining up to get Alfred Shangoon. So if and you said we need to get somebody for him. So the best person we can get for Alfred Shangoon right now, let's just say, is Miles Turner. I'm moving all these niggas, bro. The reason I'm moving them, let me explain to you what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're not gonna put people on the fucking team, listen to me. If you're not gonna put people on the team and put them in the best situation to win and to be good, just get a bunch of old ass bums. Get a bunch of not old ass bums. Let me not say that. Get a bunch of old ass good niggas. Get a bunch of old ass good niggas and put them on the team and let them hoop. Matter of fact, we're gonna keep Fred Van. Let me take Fred Van Vliet out of the Armin Thompson trade. We're gonna trade Armin and Reed Shepard to Boston with parts for Jalen Brown. So now we're gonna have Fred Van Vliet, Jalen Brown, Kevin Durant, Miles Turner, Jabari Smith Jr. Now we got to figure out somewhere to trade Jabari. We got to trade Jabari. Oh no, you know what? You're right. You're right. We're gonna trade Jabari. Okay, boom. Okay, so this how we gonna flip it. We need to get a power forward. So this is where we go. We got Jalen Brown Because this is what I'm saying. There's no point in having a bunch of old niggas and one young nigga on the team. That's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to build a team around Kevin Garnett and have a bunch of old niggas on the team and one young nigga. Or two young niggas on the team and a bunch of old niggas. Well, that one young nigga better be a great damn young nigga. And guess what? Guess guess what old niggas do? Play half court offense. Guess what old niggas not half court offense? So what's the point of having them on the team with a bunch of old niggas? None. None. It makes no sense to have Armin Thompson on the team with a bunch of niggas playing small forward. Why would you even keep Armin Thompson if you got Kevin Durant and Jaylen Brown? You got two niggas that's gonna play half court basketball with the fastest nigga in the fucking league on the team, and you gonna have him out there doing what? Playing defense all day, every day. So you finna turn this nigga to a glorified Robert Covington. You finna turn this nigga to a glorified Robert Covington, playing half court defense, half court offense all day, every day. That's it, right? Shit don't make no sense, bro. You know what? I wish I was high. I don't smoke weed, but I wish I was high. I wish I was high. I'd take me 2 drops of acid right now if I could. I'd take me 2 drops of acid, wrap that shit up in a mushroom with some weed, and eat that shit in a brownie right now. And eat that shit in a brownie right now. Because the shit that people, if y'all think the Rockets are finna win a championship, no, take it serious, bro. If you think the Rockets are about to win a championship with Fred VanVleet and Kevin Durant, if you think the Rockets are about to win a championship with Fred VanVleet and Kevin Durant on the team, you might as well, you might as well trade Armin Thompson and everybody off the team because all you're doing is essential. Okay, listen. When LeBron came in the league, you know what they did? They traded all them niggas off the team so he can flourish. When Allen Iverson came in the league, they traded all them niggas off that team so he can flourish. When Kobe came in the league, they let him play with them niggas. But as soon as them niggas start to get old, them niggas out the way, let Kobe ball. It ain't no solid replacements, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It, where the solid replacement at, man? Where is the solid replacement for Alperen Sengun? AD, Joel Embiid, Jared Allen. Hey, Jared Allen looked amazing. Exactly, bro. This is why the fuck would you build around a short term solution? Why are people saying we need to build around short term solutions, bro? Get them niggas off the team. Them niggas is supposed to be like Maurice Spates, David Lee, Zaza Pachulia, Speedy Claxton. Them niggas supposed to be old niggas that's on the team just so our young niggas could get better. Not so we can build around them niggas. Them niggas had their time. They gone. Them niggas had their time, bro. They had their time in the league. They are supplementary fill-in players. They are not the stars on your team. The stars on your team, guess what the stars of your team are? Young niggas. Young niggas who still can learn, still can get better. And guess what? Guess what? Even if Alperen Sengun ain't as good as you want him to be, it's easier to build around LP, Armin, Jabari, and Reed Shepard than it is to build around Fred VanVleet and KD. Because one thing you know for sure, if I didn't tell you, if I didn't tell you, it wouldn't make no sense for me to even have no YouTube platform. We're not gonna win no fucking championship with Fred VanVleet and KD as the staples of our team. If they are the staples of your team, you're not gonna win no fucking championship, bro. I start back selling boudin around this bitch, nigga. I start back selling boudin balls around this bitch. If them niggas right now, if Fred VanVleet and KD are your state are the main key players that you are relying on to win a championship, and them niggas go on to win a championship, I will start back selling boudin balls around this bitch, bro. You got to be kidding me. Y'all can't believe this is real. You cannot believe. You still want to talk about Alperen Sengun. You got this obsession with Alperen Sengun. I don't care about Alperen Sengun. I care about stupid shit that don't make sense. Listen, I already told you I would have traded Alperen Sengun for Ademar for a rookie because it makes more sense than having Alperen Sengun on the team. It would have made to me. I don't know how good he's gonna be, but I feel like if he can do the same thing, okay. Now, with that being said, let's put a pin in that right there. Let's put a pin in this statement right here, because I could digress. I can digress right here. The staples are Almond, Shep, and Bari. Um, 30 points, 45 points. 45 points right there on the board. I go 45 points for you. A good solid 45 points right there. A good solid 45 points. I believe that Armin could be 25, 26, 27 points a game score as a small forward or as a shooting guard if you have a equal or better defender or with him so he don't have to sacrifice and play all the defense by himself. You know, because I believe Armin is going to be a better shooter as he gets older, much like Jordan became a a better shooter as he got older. And people say, man, Jordan could always shoot. Yeah, but he wasn't a shooter like that. I hate when people, like I told you, I was having this conversation with one of the nutsos on another channel, and I was like, I don't believe that Armin can't be a better shooter. Rondo got to be a better shooter. Jason Kidd got to be a better shooter. Plethora of other players. Like all the people are always throwing up Jason Kidd. Well, what about Jordan? Jordan wasn't the greatest shooter, but just because he hit one jump shot in college, a couple of jump shots in college, don't mean that he was a great fucking shooter in college. He was a good mid-range shooter. Almond is a good mid-range shooter. Almond is not a bad mid-range shooter. He's just not a great three-point shooter. And because you're not a great three-point shooter, people feel like you can't shoot. But Jordan wasn't a great three-point shooter when he was in college. Nigga wasn't coming down this shit, jacking up shit like Reggie Miller when he was in college. Or when he was in the NBA. He got to be a good shooter, a damn good shooter when he was in the NBA. So that being said, I think Almond could possibly be a good shooting guard. But I think his natural best position is a three. Okay, with that being said, I said all that to say this. I think Armin could score 25, 26, 27 points a game. But guess what I don't think? I don't think he's going to ever fucking do that shit if you got Kevin Durant on the team. And Kevin Durant is your go-to bail you out crutch. And you got talking heads talking about build a team around Kevin Durant. Fuck are you building a team around Kevin Durant for? Everything you should do should be stapling them shits into your franchise. These three niggas right here are the staple. You brought in Kevin Durant to be what? An accessory to them niggas right there. And Alfred Şengün, whether you want to admit it or not, that's why you brought Kevin Durant in. And guess what? He's not a good addition to the fucking team. Why? Why? Because he messes up the team chemistry, from what I can tell. From what the word is, the team chemistry was ass. I personally, I personally didn't feel like it was. I think it was largely overblown. I think the Kevin Durant conspiracy shit was largely overblown. But what I can tell you is, Fred VanVleet coming back does a couple of things. Takes the ball out of Reed Shepard's hands. So the times where Reed Shepard would come in and take over the game because he had to, it was necessary that he had the ball in his hand and they had to find a way to get him the ball and get him off or lose the game. That necessity, that urgency and necessity is no longer going to be there to require of them to put Reed Shepard in the position to be his best. Because what happened was they traded Jalen Green, they brought in, roll the ball out and get a bucket. Because for some reason, they got so impatient with Jalen Green, so mad about Jalen Green because Ime didn't put him in position to score, that they traded him for Kevin Durant. And when they got Kevin Durant, their eyes got bigger than their stomach. And they start eyeing the championship. And so, all of a sudden, oh, we not in the developmental stage no more. And then you turn around, You had an injury to Fred VanVleet, and guess what you got to do? Throw these niggas to the wolves. Okay, cool. You throw them to the wolves, but you still haven't built a team around them. You put all these niggas in a gumbo, and you said, okay, we got a gumbo. We gonna get one nigga. The team is built. Let's go. One nigga, drop him in the middle. Oh, exactly what they needed. Go. No, no, because even though he replaces Jalen Green, the team wasn't built to win with Jalen Green. And this is why I don't understand how people think, bro. This is what pisses me off about listening to Houston Rockets fans talk. Because when we had Jalen Green, that team was not built to win a championship. Then we replace Jalen Green with a person who scores the exact same amount of fucking points, and then all of a sudden championship. But the team was not built to win a championship. The team was never built to win a championship. We never had a championship caliber team because the maturation process that it takes to be a championship team never happened. Why did OKC become a championship caliber team? Because they had a guy who made them better. Chris Paul made them better. And guess what they did? Got him the fuck on up out of there. Probably because even though he was making them better, he probably wasn't great for the locker room. So the next thing they did was got him the fuck up out of there. Once they got him up out of there, them boys took off through the roof, through the roof, because the guys was able to the hierarchy of the team. The hierarchy of the team can be confirmed once you get that guy who feels like he's an alpha. Once you get him out of there and you let the actual leader of the team be the person who's supposed to be the staple of your team. And yes, right now, right now, it's Alfie. It's Alfie, Alpha, whatever you want to call it. That's who the leader of the team is right now, bro. Because whatever was going on with KD, whatever was going on with Tari Eason, whatever was going on with Fred VanVleet, whatever was going on with Ime, it was one guy who was stepping up trying to be the leader all the time. It was one person, and it's the exact same person who you can't stand, who you don't like so much. That's the one guy who was trying to be the leader, who was trying to hold the damn team together by a thread. That's the one person. And guess what? I say trade him. Get rid of him. Let the damn team fall. Let the team fall apart. Let them fall apart. Let them crumble. Let them crumble into pieces. Tari Eason having a fucking mental breakdown, his parents passing away, and somebody need to put their arm around him. Let Kevin Durant put his arm around him. And then go talk about him like a dog on the text message, and then go put his arm around him. Come on, dog. I know you family passing away and shit like that, nigga. And I just said Jabari dumb and that you can't shoot and that you an idiot and you make boneheaded plays and shit like that. But come on, dog. You hold your head up, nigga. Let Kevin Durant do that. Right? Ime about to spaz out and we can win the ball game and Ime about to spaz out. Let Kevin Durant go over there and be like, hey man, calm down. I got it. I got it. I'm gonna take over, man. Calm down. I got it. Let Kevin Durant do that. Right? Right? Let KD do it. Because we know the reputation that Kevin Durant has for being a fucking great teammate and leader. Now, mind you, I came on the platform and said Kevin Durant is a leader by what? Example. You wanna be led by Kevin Durant? When he go get up shots, you go get up shots. He come in, he get a workout, your ass should be in there getting a workout. That's how you learn from Kevin Durant. He studying film, you study film. That's how you learn from Kevin Durant. But once you learn what you can take from him, you have to decide: are we gonna keep? And here's the kicker, because I don't have no problem with Kevin Durant being on the team. I don't have no problem with Fred Blam Blip. I don't have no problem with none of that. What I'm saying is, you're gonna keep adding older and older and older niggas and trading the young niggas off the team. Then just trade all of them off. Don't just keep one young nigga, two young niggas on the team, and bring in three, four, five old niggas, and none. These old niggas are not finna win no championship, bro. You're gonna win a championship with Jalen Brown, Kevin Durant, Fred VanVleet, Steven Adams. That's your starting lineup. That's your starting lineup. Your starting lineup: Fred VanVleet, Jalen Brown, Kevin Durant, Steven Adams. That's your starting lineup. That's who you think gonna win a championship. Got to be fucking kidding me. Got to be kidding me. There's no possible way. No possible way. There's no possible way. You can convince me that a Houston Rockets fan believes Fred VanVleet, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brown, and Steven Adams gonna win a championship. I don't care who your fourth person is, because guess what? Guess what? Whoever your fourth person is, two of your staples, two of your staples, not on the court with your starting lineup. 9 times out of 10, you trading one of your core. And you can sit back and you can say, if the Rockets was matched up against New York, how would we play that? Oh, we'll put Jabari on Cat. Okay. If we matched up with San Antonio, how do we play that? Oh, we'll put uh Jabari on Wimby. Oh, if we matched up against OKC, oh shoot, we're gonna put Jabari on Chet, right? Oh shit, if we matched up with the Lakers, oh, we're gonna put Jabari on LeBron. Oh, we're gonna put Jabari on Marcus Smart. And why the hell did Jabari have to hold Marcus Smart anyway? Nobody else couldn't hold that nigga but Jabari? Bro, I'm just trying to tell you. All I'm trying to tell you is the shit not looking good. The shit not looking good. The shit not looking good. It just ain't. It just not looking good, bro. It, listen, I I could not adequately express my profound disappointment for what we just how the last year turned out. This year, the proportions, epic proportions, epic proportions have been like the display is a farce. This is a farcical display of epic proportions. Nah, 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 nah. I just, I'm gonna give a shout out to Jackson Gatlin, bro, because he said the thing that I think ultimately defines what I feel about the team. Right, and I messaged him. I said this is his best take ever to me. Clearly, I think it's the most prominent statement that I've ever heard listening to Locked on Rockets. He said, even more than we need to get a player or get a point guard or draft, pick or trade or whatever, they just need to pick a damn direction. Just pick a damn direction. And my mind went, why couldn't I have said that? Out of all the shit that I've said this year, that people tend to not realize I'm dropping bombs, I'm dropping dimes on you. I drop dimes on them. I drop dimes on them. And people don't get what I be saying. So I'm going to steal that particular statement from Jackson Gatlin. I'm going to give him his credit. And what I'm going to do when I cut up this live stream, when I cut it up into shorts, every single short is going to be called Pick a Damn Direction. Pick a damn direction one, pick a damn direction two, pick a damn direction three, pick a damn direction four. All the way up to however long this is. It's 209, 200, 2 hours and 9 minutes. Hey, y'all already know there's 120 shorts coming. 120 shorts coming. I find I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. But I'm gonna say this. E.L. Hutton, for a reason. For a reason. Because the shit that I be saying, people listen. They don't get it. They don't always get it or why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I think the first initial thing is, you know, let's measure and see if what he's saying makes sense. But people hear what I'm saying and they might not get it. So let me say this clearly. Pick a damn direction. I I find this whole entire course of action completely unconscionable. What up with it, KO?
Johnny, what it do, man?
Shit, chilling.
So dig, man. It's a couple of things you've been saying. I think that you kind of got wrong, right?
Go ahead.
So the first thing is I don't think that the idea from top down was that this was a championship team yet, right? Like you say, you talk about Jalen Green and them expecting to win a championship with Jalen Green when it wasn't a championship team. That wasn't the idea. Like that wasn't, the thought process. This was a young team, hadn't had no success. And so the point was to see how this team will perform in the playoffs and if they could advance. The thinking coming out of that playoff series against Golden State was that the team overall was probably good enough to beat Golden State had we had a dependable, consistent scorer, right? That's what the whole idea was. That's what drove them getting KD. There was a lot of people who tried to come around the Rockets community. There was even some people who are Rocket fans who was screaming championship or bust. But I think overall that wasn't the sentiment. People didn't think because you added KD to the roster, all of a sudden the Rockets was a championship team. The hope was number one, they would of course get out the first round. And beyond that, that they would compete to get to the conference finals. That's what the overall consensus was. So it wasn't no championship aspirations. I don't think right now that the Rockets are looking at their team and saying, "Hey, we finna win a championship." I don't think that's the case with the fan base overall. So you putting this championship thing out there when that's not really the overall outlook of the team. But you have young players, you have some veteran players, and if you can just add one piece, maybe two pieces to help this team get over the hump to where number one, they're not as dependent on a 37-year-old, 38-year-old Kevin Durant. They're not as dependent on Fred Van Vliet. That's the goal. So for fans like myself, for the report that the Rockets are going to be at the front of the line going after Jaylen Brown, the reason for that is because Jaylen Brown is a number one option type player as far as the scorer, right? He plays defense. He has history with the head coach. If you can flip a guy like Alfie, some draft picks, you might have to throw in somebody else. So could that be a signing trade with Tari? Would they possibly have to throw in Jabari? Who knows? But if you can flip him for a guy like Jaylen Brown and you pair him with the Army, you pair him with the Kevin, you pair him with the Fred, you pair him with the Shepherd. Well, now you still got a team that is able to compete in the Western Conference. It's not all on KD to have to save the team and build a team out offensively every night. You got multiple perimeter defenders that you can throw out there. It's a very good team, balanced team where you got shooting, defense, size, scoring. You got everything that you need. And you don't have a guy who's not as talented, not as athletic, has no jump shot, thinking that he's the number one option. So I mean that's really what it boils down to. But I don't think that we're talking about um championship right now.
Well, allow me to retort.
Go ahead.
Now, what I said, yeah, I agree. A sane, rational person knew that getting rid of Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and adding Kevin Durant did not promote us to a championship. But even I felt like if everybody took the steps that they were supposed to take and Kevin Durant played the way that he could play, we might get sneak past OKC and get into the finals. I still believe that that's true. I still believe that that's true. We could have snuck past OKC and got into the finals, and we probably could have beat New York if Kevin Durant played the way that he's supposed to play, and if Fred VanVleet wasn't hurt, and if Ime Udoka played the people that he had to play. If Raphael Stone made any kind of moves throughout the year, he had any kind of sense of, these things can help us along the way. But like you said, nobody really was pushing to get to the championship this year because it was a foregone conclusion that OKC was probably going to win. And I think that somewhere along the line, like I said in my last stream, the Rockets looked at it and said, we don't have a team that's good enough to win. Fuck it. Let's just coast. And they oversold the fans as if what they were doing was anything other than just getting a star to have a star jersey to have some jersey sales. Because ultimately, that's what the Kevin Durant thing was. That's what the Kevin Durant thing was. You traded a second overall pick that you were slightly down on to get in a guy that was a star so you can up your revenue. That's the first thing. The second thing is the Jalen Brown, we're going to call it sweepstakes. And I'm being slightly tongue in cheek because every time it's a big person, everything's become a fucking sweepstake. But the Jalen Brown sweepstakes, you said something very precarious, quite precarious, if I might mention myself. Um, and to me, I have to refuse and refudiate and also push back on such a ludicrous explanation. Allow me to explain. You said if you flip LP, you bring in JB, and you pair him with, and I quote, a Fred, a Shep, a KD, a Armin. Who the fuck is the center? Because that was my point. My point was, who the fuck is the center? If you pair him with a Fred, a KD, and who is the center again? Steven Adams. Then you have a whopping tandem of Fred VanVleet, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brown, and Steven Adams. I don't care who the fourth person is, and I repeat, it doesn't matter who the fourth person is. Your starting lineup consists of Fred VanVleet, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brown, and Steven Adams. That is not a winning starting lineup in real time. Um, and I'll tell you why later. Well, I'll tell you why now. Chances are one or two of these people are going to be hurt. All four have had significant injuries at inopportune times in their career. All four of them. The only fifth option you would have would be Amin or Jabari, both of which have had some injury history. And I don't know that Jalen Brown isn't a great 3-point shooter. Fred VanVleet isn't a great 3-point shooter. Kevin Durant refused to shoot more than 22 times. Amin Thompson isn't a great 3-point shooter. You still have the same dynamic of two mid-range players, a lackluster shooter in Fred VanVleet, a non-shooter in Steven Adams, and Jabari. Let's say Jabari because I'm just pointing this out. Who is the best shooter on the floor, the best shooter on the team at all times, other than Reed Shepard? So if Reed Shepard is still on the team, he's still relegated to the bench player, which is my full point that you have your Hall of Fame player in Reed Shepard riding the damn bench because you want to put together this so-called championship team so you can try to steal a championship. If at any time Fred VanVleet became a bench player, it changes the dynamic of how I feel. If at any time Kevin Durant decided to come off the bench, it changed the dynamic of how I feel. If you had Jalen Brown, Kevin Durant, and you were going to start Reed Shepard, it changes the dynamic of how I feel. My problem is you're getting older, you're sacrificing the Hall of Fame potential in Armin Thompson and Reed Shepard to keep trying to make this makeshift good team instead of letting the guys who are supposed to be good actually become good. Let me make this final declaration. Um, Denver, OKC, San Antonio, Minnesota. Minnesota just made a trade, didn't it? Didn't they just trade Julius Randle for to Brooklyn for some picks and shit like that? Um, so there's Denver, OKC, San Antonio, Minnesota, and I'm gonna throw Golden State back up in there. Guess what? First round exit again. I call it first round exit again because I don't think this GM is gonna do anything. If by some stretch of the imagination he goes and get Jalen Brown, I might retract that statement. I might not because we still don't have shooting. We still don't have rim protection, and you're gonna need rim protection. You're gonna need defense on Joker. You're gonna need rim protection. You're gonna need shooting, and we haven't gotten it. We still got too many mid-range shooters who occupy the same space. The team is not well constructed, even with Jalen Brown and Kevin Durant on it. You got two players who do the damn near exact same thing. Kevin Durant won't shoot the ball no more than 21 times, like I said before. And this all equals up to me 2027 first round exit.
Is you finished or is you through?
I'm
Okay.
finished and I'm through.
So so number one, name the team where there's people in they start lineup who ain't had no injury. Okay. So pointing out that the Rockets got players on their team who's had injuries can go for every team in the NBA because all of their players didn't suffered injuries. That's just part of the game. Okay. Um, Jalen Brown and Kevin Durant are not the same player.
Except New
Jalen
York. But
Brown
go ahead.
has the ability. Jalen Brown has the ability to get to the rim. That is really his game is to get to the rim. But I think that he's a pretty decent 3-point shooter. Kevin Durant moving to the four now stretches the floor. So where we talked about at the end of the season, where you say, "Oh, well, Kevin Durant was in the corner," I think Ma got something up his sleeve where Kevin Durant could be in the corner. Where if you got a guy that can get to the rim, create his own shot, and take the ball out of Kevin Durant's hands, where Kevin Durant don't have to orchestrate offense, start offense, he can now be in the corner and draw a man out the paint. Shot blocking, Steven Adams. Rebounding, Steven Adams. You got that. You could just add another big man. Plus, we had big man on our G League team that could probably move up to the roster this year. Fred Van Vliet, historically for his career, is around a 38, 39% three-point shooter. He had a bad year, a down year, year before last, and last year he was injured all season. That was the worst shooting season of his career. Now he's not a good 2-point shooter, but from the three, he's a pretty decent enough shooter where he still stretches the floor. And at this point, I don't think that it's a bad thing to bring Reed Shepard off the bench to be a scoring spark and to run the offense off the bench. It's not stunting his growth. Steve Nash came off the bench for 2 or 3 years when he first got to Phoenix. He still became a Hall of Fame point guard. I don't think Reed Shepard coming off the bench for one more year all of a sudden diminishes what he's going to be able to be in his career. It's more time for him to be able to learn. Last year, he had a bunch of growing pains, but he showed some signs. So at the end of the year, there are specific things that he know he needs to work on. Number one, getting stronger. Number two, continuing to improve his handle where he's not picking up his dribble as much. So I really think that you said you was gonna crash out. So you're being your best version of a crash out.
You there? You still there? Let me see. Let me hear you there because I can't hear you. Okay. You kind of cut off a little bit.
Can you hear me? Yo,
Yeah, I can hear you. You back.
you got me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you doing your best rendition of a crash out right now, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Things ain't going the way that you wanted to, and then the big man you thought we had is no longer here. But I do believe that a starting lineup that has Fred, Jalen Brown, Armin Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Steven Adams is a damn good lineup. Then you got a Jabari, you got a Reed Shepard immediately coming off your bench. We don't know. Kogi might still be here as another defender. That's good. You see what you're gonna do with Tari, but it all begins with getting a legitimate number one score type player. Be that Jalen Brown, be it Donovan Mitchell, whomever it is. It kind of begins and ends with taking KD off the ball, where he's not on the ball as much. He's not having to start offense or orchestrate offense. And if you can get Jalen Brown for Alfie and some draft picks, you do that in a heartbeat. If you the Rockets, you don't think twice about it.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. Um, I'm a circle back to the. I'm going to circle back to the 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 shooting aspect of the whole thing. But I wanted to ask you about the so Steve Nash was drafted to Phoenix, right? And then he came off the bench a little while in Phoenix, went to Dallas, and then stayed in Dallas, and then went back to Phoenix, and then
Nah, I
became a
think he
Hall of
got
Fame point
drafted.
guard.
I think he.
But
I think.
you do realize that Steve Nash, second year in the league, he played 21 minutes a game. In his third year in the league, he played 31 minutes a game. By his third year in the league, he was playing 31 minutes a game, and he was already uh, making his playing 76 games. Started 9 games his second year. In his third year in Dallas, he started 40 games. So his first year he
Yeah.
started 2 games. Second year he started 9 games. His third year he started 40 games. His fourth year he started 27 games. I think he was hurt that year. His fifth year 70 games. And from then on, obviously Hall of Fame career, like you
Hmm.
said. So, you know, the fact of the Steve Nash thing pales in comparison due to the nature of what I'm saying is so much going wrong with the team that it's so many things that I'm starting not to trust, starting to compound one upon the other. One, Ime won't play the people. Raphael Stone not drafting well. Um, the type of player
Can I
that's
can I
being
put can I just real
yep,
quick ask a question?
jump in.
Well, this one and two question. So my first question is year two for Reed Shepard. How many games did he start and how many minutes did he play compared to Steve Nash? And number two, when you look at that, he drafted Alp, Alfie, he drafted Shep, he drafted Armin, he drafted Tari, he drafted Jabari. How can you say that this man don't draft well?
Um, I think I'll start with the second one first because I think some of the draft picks I think were obvious kind of draft picks. None of these draft picks were like diamond in the rough players that came out of nowhere and we just found a needle in the haystack type shit. So that's my answer to that. Um
Wasn't Tari like the 16th pick in the draft?
um um the the Alperen Sengun, I think Alperen Sengun was kind of on the board. Mind you, he was an MVP that was also being highly touted by um, you know, OKC and other people, other places, shit like that. You
That
know,
was after the fact.
um,
That was after the fact. EF.
but but no. OKC, we got Al Pachengun from OKC.
We
He
got
was
him up
actually
from that.
OKC's
We
pick that we got.
we got him from. Yes, we traded for the pick, but it wasn't like
Right,
everybody was just boosting up LP before that draft. Now after the draft, there may have been
right.
teams that said that they liked him, but LP was what, the 12th pick, the
Yeah,
11th to 12th pick. Okay, and the Rockets had to see something in him to trade up to go get him. You got
it was
Tari
like six
Eason
fifteen, like
with
16.
you got Tari Eason with the 16th pick or the 17th pick, whichever one it
Yeah,
was. So he was
yeah.
outside the lottery. You had multiple players that you could have took in place of Reed Shepard. So these weren't just like they
Well,
didn't have a number one overall
one
pick
of which is
where it's just
Stephon
a,
Castle.
a gimme pick. With
One of
Stephon
which was
Castle,
Stephon Castle.
right?
Which
And Stephon Castle went after him fourth, but Stephon Castle couldn't shoot, and they already had athletic guards in Jalen and in Armin. So it would have been redundant to take Stephon Castle at that point, especially when you needed
Okay.
shooting.
So, so, so so here's the thing: if you traded Jalen the same year that you got Reed, did you not know when you got Reed that Jalen was not on your "I got to keep him" list? Because I have to question that. I have to question. You got Reed the same year, and then at the
No,
end of that year, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So him, so Reed was there with, he was there with Jalen. You didn't know that you was trading Jalen before the season started.
well, hold on,
Like
no, no, no. I'm not saying.
Jalen had just got a new contract.
I know, but you got to answer the question. You're not answering the question. I need you to answer the question. My question is, did you not know that Jalen was not on your "I have to keep him" list?
No,
You understand what I'm asking?
I do, and I'm saying they did not know that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given
Okay,
him an extension. So they gave him an extension.
so it
They
goes to
thought
my
that he
point
was,
of
hold on, EF, hold on. They thought at the time that Jalen was probably going to be a part of their long term answer moving forward. So they gave him a contract,
okay. So
him and LP. And once they got to the playoff, where you went through the regular season where he was inconsistent through the regular season, you get into the playoffs, he's still inconsistent in the playoffs where he only had one good game. The rest of the games he didn't show up, his shooting didn't improve, all of those things. So now you're looking at your roster, the thought that you should have beat Golden State had you had a guy that can give you consistent scoring. That's why you traded. But when you drafted Reed Shepard, he was still on
o-
the roster.
okay, so this is my thing. Was Stephon Castle better than Reed Shepard as a basketball player?
I don't think so.
Okay. So now the reason I asked them two questions like I did was because I think the consensus was Stephon Castle was a bigger, better player, better defender. He just couldn't shoot as well, but he could shoot, but not as good as Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard was an excellent shooter, size 60%, but he had some deficiencies and he was not as defensive shortcomings and whatever, and that he might have been, problematic defensively. But it was worth the risk because he also had a good knack for the ball, just didn't the third. Now, the Jalen Green question, I asked it because of this. If you went from, hey, I, I'm going to keep Jalen Green at the beginning of the year, and then by 82 games later, no, we got to get rid of him. That also speaks to my point of not being able to identify a fucking good basketball player or not. Also goes to my point of not being able to properly develop basketball talent to the point where it should be able to be developed. That can be either attributed to Ime Udoka's stubborn nature and inability to actually develop talent, which we have never seen him do. We have never seen Ime develop good talent. And it could also speak to Raphael Stone's inability to identify basketball IQ and what it takes to actually be a good basketball player. Because we haven't seen Raphael Stone get anybody that was the best that was the best player at that position in the draft. Every player that Raphael Stone has picked, there's been a player that was under them that was better than them. Every single one of them.
No, but
So I have to
that's
question
number one.
that.
That's false. That's false premise. Number one, I disagree on your assessment of Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard led the NCAA in steals. Stephon Castle wasn't no defensive stopper in college. He wasn't a better defender than Reed Shepard. He wasn't a better shooter than Reed Shepard. Only thing he was he was faster, he was quicker. So he can get downhill better than Reed Shepard. But as an overall player, no, I don't think he was better. I don't think the consensus thought that he was better than Reed Shepard. So that's false. They don't develop. How can people look at the improvement of Armin Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., and Reed Shepard in year two and say that they can't develop talent? How can you even look at them players as talents on the NBA level and say that Stone don't got an eye for talent? Again, LP was not a top five
because
pick.
I believe because I believe
Tari Eason was not a top five pick, and both of
because
them
I
dudes not
believe
only have their games developed since being in Houston, you had to identify them as talents to be able to make the picks that you made. So, bro, like you going
but I
overboard
also believe
with your assessment.
there are there are about 20 teams that I feel like any one of those players was on that team, they would have been better than they are now. One of which is Indiana. If they was under Rick Carlisle, they'd be better. If they was under Eric Spoelstra, they'd be better. If they were under Tyronn Lue, they'd be better. If they was under Steve Kerr, they'd be better. If they was under um if they was in shit LA, they'd be better. If they was in OKC, they'd be better. If they was in San Antonio, they'd be better. What I'm saying is all the players that we had, they have a natural edge to where they could be better than they are, but it's something that I think is stifling the greatness of the individuals, and I have to attribute that to the coaching. I think I'm also saying that also the the defensive part of it is getting better, and it's probably going to go with them a long way. But I also think the the overall feel or knack or consistency that players develop in other systems, our players don't develop that consistency.
Consistency comes with age and experience. That's not necessarily something that you can just put on coaches. Like coaches' job is to put guys in
Why not?
position to be successful, but it's up to the players for them to become consistent players, and that comes with time and experience, bro. Like you can look at Wimby. Wimby, as good as he is, you can't say that he's consistent. Like he don't give you the same effort, the same statistics, the same output every single night. Like this dude that have monster game, but what did he average this year? 24 points. But you'll see him put up goddamn me 43, 17, and eight blocks. So nah, he's not consistent as good as he is. That comes with time. The problem, the thing with that hurt Jalen Green was that Jalen Green was on the team for 5 years, and he had never shown gotten to the point where he was consistent even in year five. Even he goes to Phoenix, he still wasn't consistent in Phoenix. So he's never been able to get that consistency of coming from a 1 second, 1, 2, third year player to now you in year five, you in year six, and you still inconsistent. Like teams ain't gonna just hold on to you indefinitely.
Hmm. So yeah, so I get it. So this is all my little, this is all my little thing. I stand behind everything I said. I still have to hold it. I still have to hold them accountable as far as Raphael Stone, Ime Udoka. Um, the evidence before the evidence that I put out here tonight, that the evidence that we can visually see and observe is both appalling and perplexing at the same time. And there's no way that we can avoid reality that we are on the path to another first round exit this year. Um, and for the for the foreseeable future, I don't see us becoming a better team. We are a middle of the pack team. No point in getting your hopes up about shit. There's really nothing that we can do if they don't do something about the structure of the team. That's it. I mean, that's it. I have yet to see them. You know what? I can't say all in all. I did see them make a jump from not having Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet to getting the exact two players that we needed. Those players that we needed to make the transition from Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks to trading out Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green and bringing in Kevin Durant was supposed to make us a better offensive team. I think it did not make us a
It
better
did.
offensive team. I would question if maybe not. Um, I don't really think so. I would have to necessarily have to question how long do we plan on not uh basically relinquishing the heavy lifting to Reed and Almond, right? So Reed and Almond, if you plan on them being the stars of the team, you have to relinquish the heavy lifting to them. And if you don't plan on them to be the stars of the team, you need to fucking move them. You just move them,
No, well,
or
look,
just or 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 you just leave them on the bench and keep them. But they're two draft picks. They are too high draft picks for you to have them on the team just as glorified, you know, a glorified Robert Covington, a glorified JJ Redick.
so I'm finna go and get up out of here. It seemed like you finna shut it down. I disagree. I think it's only one person that we need to move on this team. I do think there's a missing piece. I believe that piece can be acquired with the movement of this one guy. I think that the media hype and the fan hype around him boosted his head up to where he thinks more of himself than he is. The fan base does too. So if you can move this guy for the right piece, which, like I said, needs to be a number one option, a number one scorer. It doesn't hurt Reed Shepard to come off the bench for one more season. But if he shows improvement like he did in year two, if he shows more improvement in year three, if Armin Thompson shows more improvement um in year what's this 4, like he did in year three, if he shows more improvement with a more substantial role, if Jabari takes another step like he did last year, if he takes another step, then the future is in good hands. I'm not worrying about championships uh, for the Rockets right now. It's just about improvement. And as long as our young players keep improving and we can add one piece, the right piece, if we could do that, then the Rockets will be on track for where they need to go. But outside of that, no, I'm not moving uh Armin, Jabari, or Oshep if I got something to say about it. Outside of that, man, salute to you, man. Great stream tonight, bro.
Before you go,
Yep.
before you go, let me ask you this: what would you move Armin for?
I'm not. Where, uh, what's old boy name in Minnesota?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
You
Ant
move over
Man
for Ant
did
Man.
suffer some. He didn't suffer some injuries, but
Okay,
yeah,
like Ant Man,
I,
Victor Wembanyama.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Hey, you gonna give me one of them? Yeah, I give
Wimby.
you
Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag.
Mm, I don't know about Cooper Flag. I ain't seen enough of him.
Um, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's a short. What about Austin Reeves?
Hell no.
No Austin Reeves.
Hell no.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Luca.
What about Steph Curry?
I'm moving for Luca. No, no.
What about
Steph
Steph?
probably got
No Steph.
no, no to Steph, no to Steph.
So what you saying is that there is a value to age as it pertains to Almond. Almond has an age value, and Reed has a age value because he's so young. But Alpha Shangoon don't get the same. He don't get the same value. He
Now
don't get
see,
the same
hold
credit for
on,
age, even though he's
hold
only
on.
twenty
Is
three.
hold on. See, you said the age value. The thing with Armin, the thing with Shep, the thing with Jabari, I believe that all of those guys still got more room to grow. Yes, they're young, but I don't think that any of them have hit their ceiling. I still think that those guys got room to grow. I think Armin, his growth is unlimited at this point because he can get so much better as a shooter and even as a defender. Reed Shepard still got a lot of room to grow. Jabari
Hmm.
still got a lot of room to grow. Alfie has plateaued. He's reached his ceiling. His head is bumped the ceiling. He's not gonna get no better. So what he is what he's gonna. Uh, he only gonna get worse from here. He ain't gonna never
Mm,
get no better than what he is. So that's why it's a lot easier for me to shoot him out the damn door
mm.
and get what I can get for him than these other guys. The ticket price for those guys are much higher. Salute to you, homie.
So Alpha Shangoon don't his prime is at 23, and from
Yeah.
all right, appreciate it.
All right.
So what what I'm understanding is Alpha Shangoon, his peak is at 23 years old, and from the age 23 he's gonna get worse. So much so that is no hope. No hope. Okay. I'm cool with that. I don't have no problem with that. I don't feel that way, but my take on it is a little bit different because what I feel is he's going to get better, but I don't care because let's see. Let me do one thing before I get ready to pull up out of here, and I'm gonna give y'all one quick rundown on something of what I was listening to who was having that conversation. I appreciate KOD for pulling up on me. You know, um, nice little back and forth. Okay. Oh no. Stay with me now. I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer. Actually, if you pull it in, if you just coming in on the way and you listening, I Um, appreciate you coming in. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Shout out to you. Okay. What? Oh shit! What the same shit is this all about? Hold on. Uh. Hmm. Okay. Let me check something. Check something. 'Cause this is weird. Wow. Let me check this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is as suspected. All right. Now, this is what I want to say. Reese Shepard is 22 years old. Alper Shangoon is 23 years old. And Amin Thompson, amazingly, is 23 years old. I think because Amin came out 2 years, 3 years after Alper Shangoon, it seems like LP is older than Amin. But Alper Shangoon and Amin Thompson are the exact same age. Did you know that? Um, Obviously Jabari is you know, 23 years old. What am I getting at? That all these guys are so young. They would be just 2 years out of college if they stayed in the college. Like, if they went the whole college, these guys would be just getting out of college and like just now in their second year. So I think selling on this team early is crazy. I think trading these young players for old players is ridiculous. But by the same token, I think if you start now, constantly disassembling what you built, might as well destroy and rebuild. That's just how I feel. If you're gonna trade LP after the success he's had at 23, two-time All-Star at 23, if you're gonna prevent Armin Thompson, if you're gonna keep somebody in the way of Armin Thompson maturating to his full potential, which means to me, you really have to be willing to live or die. You gave him the opportunity to have the ball in his hand this year, much like the Mavericks did with Cooper Flag, which I thought was a good thing. He got to get the ball in his hand, which he needed to do so he can learn how to create more. But if you're gonna keep him in a situation to where he got like an overlord on the team and he's not the guy, I think at this point you stunting his growth. At some point, if you want him to be who he's supposed to be, he has to be the guy. And I think if you say, okay, well, Alper Sengun is still there, but I think Armin could beat out LP. I think just naturally, if it's just them on the team, I think Armin would eventually, you know, it would be like Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. One guy would eventually just become better than the other one, and I think that guy would eventually be Armin Thompson. If not, not LP just better. He just better. I don't think that would be the case. I've said before, Armin Thompson has opportunity to be the third greatest Rocket ever, or second. Um, Reed Shepard and Jabbar, both still under 25. Funny, funny, because here's my my pitch. If you let all these guys grow together, win, lose, or draw, cool, cool. Because you let them all grow together and they have the chemistry, and you have a team that's designed, built, and structured and learn how to play with each other, and they learn how to win together, how to lose together. And if you can keep all these guys together, keep them all together. But the minute you pluck one of these guys out the system and you can't replace it with that exact thing, you just fucked up your whole team. Any one of them. Any one of them. If you take Jabari out, you take out your stretch four. If you take Ahmed out, you take out your one of the best defenders in the league. You take Reed Shepard out, you take out one of the all-time greatest shooters. You take Alfred Sengun out, you take out one of the best passing big man ball handlers in the league. Any one of those four players right now, you fuck up your whole team and you can't replace it. The reason why Kevin Durant fit so well was because he fit right in the middle where Jalen Green was as a scorer. You took Jalen Green out, replaced it with Kevin Durant. Cool. The only logical thing to do is take Kevin Durant right the fuck back out and find a guy who can score. That's the logical move. That's in the same age bracket as these guys. Why I say Jalen Williams would be a great player, even if he is hurt a lot. Why I agree Anthony Edwards would be the perfect player to fit right at the shooting guard. I mean, he like 25, 26, but he would be the perfect player to fit there. Kevin Durant would be a great player to hold that position if he don't fuck up the team chemistry. If you could trade Kevin Durant for Jalen Brown, excellent, because he slides right into that spot. If you took out Alper Sengun and you brought in a replacement for a center, fine. But if you take out Alper Sengun and you bring in another Kevin Durant, stupidity. It's stupidity because you have a point guard, greatest shooter, one of the greatest shooters of all time, one of the best defenders in the league, stretch four that can slide down the small ball five, and a center. What you don't have is a scorer. So you got a scorer in Kevin Durant. You take out your center and you bring in another scorer score, then you leave a void at the center position. But if you in what they are likely trying to do is this is what they likely trying to do. If they move LP, bring in another score, then they move Kevin Durant, bring in another center, then they just made a big ass triangle of musical chairs to replace shit with uh, uh, um rotating revolving doors of players. Right? Essentially, that's what it would be. And I think that's what a lot of Rockets players are asking, which I don't have a problem with that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But like I said earlier, pick a damn direction. Pick a damn direction. And don't sit here and tell me, don't sit here and say we trying to win a championship when we know, according to what I just said, that what you're really trying to do is make a revolving door musical chair of players until you get the right combination. You're not trying to win a championship, just like KLD just came on here and said, which I wholeheartedly agree with him. One thing about me and King, we'll come to the same damn conclusion, different ways. Big picture, big picture, we'll come to the same conclusion. How we get there, gonna be different. But we'll come to the same conclusion. They're not trying to win no championship. They lying to y'all. They lying to you. They don't think they're gonna win a championship. They don't think they can win a championship, which is what I said 2 hours ago. Matter of fact, is what I said yesterday. Now, it would have been commendable if maybe one time he came up here and instead of saying I disagree with you, he came up here and said, "Hey, EF, I know nobody never likes to agree with you, but big picture, the shit you be saying be right." Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's probably a little nuanced, a little controversial, whatever. How you get to that because sometimes we don't understand what you be saying. But, but, big picture, your point is spot on. At some point, they looked at their team and they said, "Damn, we fucked up. We fucked up. We didn't get what we wanted. We don't got a team that can win. Let's just, let's just kind of wing it. We got Jalen Green. I don't like him. I don't like him, but we're gonna try it one more year and see if he can be better." I don't think he would because people was telling me Jalen Green was gonna be Kobe, and I was like, more Rip Hamilton than Kobe. If they used him like a Rip Hamilton, he would have been a better Rip Hamilton than a Kobe. But they tried to make him into a Kobe instead of a Rip Hamilton. I also said, probably one of my worst takes was best case scenario, Jalen Green would have been our point guard. He would have been like a Stephon Castle. But he turns the ball over too much. Stephon Castle just had 100 damn turnovers in the playoff. But guess what? They're going to keep him because of how explosive he is and how good he is at getting downhill. So what would a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" player like Jalen Green with a super burst of an athletic first step look like at point guard this year? when we didn't have a Fred VanVleet. And you have Reed Shepard, Jalen Green, Amin Thompson, Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun. And you can put Jalen on ball, off ball. You can put Reed on ball, off ball. You can put Amin on ball, off ball. You can put LP on ball, off ball. Jabari on ball, off ball. All different looks. But the reason what I'm saying don't make sense is because of one key factor. Veer right, veer left. Right hand don't get you, the left one will. Ime Udoka and his consistency, his methodical, hickory dickory dock ass offense. His shit is as predictable as a grandfather clock. He won't change it. He won't change it. Just like King said. The same thing I said about Jalen Green in the playoffs against Golden State. The same thing everybody cried about this year about Kevin Durant. The exact same shit. Everybody, oh, Jalen Green is stupid. I said, he giving him the ball right where they can double team him every single time. Why don't he pull him off ball? Why don't he give him the ball on the corner? Why don't he give him the ball at the elbow at a different side of the court? Why don't somebody? Because they're using him as the trap so he can get double teamed and then pass the ball to somebody else. And then we see the same thing happen with a Hall of Fame player a year later. And guess what? Now we sitting here like, oh no, but it's not Kevin Durant's fault. It's Alperen Sengun's fault. It's Fred Van Vliet's fault. How about we just saw the same thing happen to Jalen Green the year before that we saw happen to Kevin Durant, and Fred Van Vliet was on the damn floor. Fred Van Vliet was on the court when the shit was happening to Jalen Green. Don't forget that. Don't forget that when the same shit that just happened to Kevin Durant was happening to Jalen Green, Fred Van Vliet was there. Okay. But, hey, who am I? Who am I? I'm just old country boy now. I ain't smart as y'all city folk. I ain't smart as y'all city folk. But now all of a sudden, people think when Fred Van Vliet get back, Ime Udoka is not going to do the same exact shit that he had just did. Ah, 2 years in a row that got us eliminated in the playoff. Guess what I'm going to do for y'all? Guess what I'm going to do for y'all? I'm going to go back and pull up the Ime Udoka Boston series and let's see if he was doing the same stupid shit in Boston. Because I tend to think, just based off of what I just saw, I tend to think that I remember correctly that Golden State Warriors game plan was the same shit when he was in Boston that they did to us against when we had Jalen Green, and the same shit that the Lakers did to us this year. That's what I think. That's what I think. think it was the same thing. I think he's gonna do the same thing next year. And you would hope that you just have a great fucking player that can beat that shit. You just you have to have a Tony Parker. You have to have a Manu Ginobili. And if you don't have a Manu Ginobili or a Tony Parker and a Tim Duncan, you better not have an email either. Look, it's your boy, man, EF, man. I can stay on here all night, man, but at the end of the day, um, you know, I'm gonna repeat myself 100 times over the summer anyway, because half of you niggas don't be listening, and half of you act like you don't hear me when I say it. So I'm gonna be saying the same shit. I'm gonna pound this shit into your head. Bang, pause, by the way. But I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna make sure that we come to a conclusion that we get to understand, because what I want to do is I want to leave impression on people that whenever you're going to other channels and you hear other people that you already know, to tell them to take that take, put it in a little napkin, wet the napkin, fold the napkin up, put it in the microwave, warm the napkin, starts to turn into that, like the little paper mache, soft type shit. Then you take it out, you dissolve that, you dissolve that in a nice cold beer. You take that beer, take that napkin out the beer, put it in another piece of like foil paper, put that in the fire, dehydrate, take it out, blend it up, make it, pour that seasoning on your next take. Take that take in your right or your left hand if you're left-handed. Shove it up your candy ass. It's your boy EL Hud, man. I'm out of here. Filtered and uncut, man. We getting up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. I'm glad everybody pulled up. Thank y'all for coming, man. I'm out.